Peace, 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 family. Always love, light, phenomenal healing. This one right here, still don't believe the hype. Not to believe the hype. Mm. In the knowing, holidays isn't of our culture, isn't of the people. When it comes to holiday, that comes from the divineness of gatherings. They call it together. Divineness is together as one, the all. So, realming deep on the topic at hand, I'm talking about holidays. They call it Christmas. When we traveled on their lands to remove vibrations, frequencies, and energies, we had divine essential oils, frankincense, herbs, candles, divine healing crystals. All these components were things that we used when healing beautiful souls, and major components when you're doing quantum healing. Oh yeah. Even realming deeper with animal totems, animal totem heads, using your animal ancestor and your totems to go into different realms as well when we're talking about these topics at hand. In the knowing. So yes, Christmas and the bells. Make sure with all those components, most of our jewelry had bells on them. Though, when I asked the ancestors, and my spirit just realming with self, more authenticity. So, that's why you get rings like this, and this is a clear crystal quartz that I originally picked off the Missouri River. When you're following your dreams and passions in the knowing, when I knew in the knowing of Ra searching ice age and snow, and Ra searching sand, quartz grains, ancestral crystals. Being a child, I loved movies like National Treasure, The Golden Child. Yeah, a lot of sun children keep shining, baby. Keep shining, baby. Golden children in the flesh when we're talking about sun children. Yes. So yes, don't believe the hype when we're talking about gatherings as one, the all. We did things together. There was no holiday. There was nothing you had to rip and run for to make sure it was done. Overdoing things, overcooking, working your body. When we gathered together, everyone had something because everyone is plentiful. And that's deep when we're talking about the now hiring signs and different occupational jobs and paradigms have upped the prices for beautiful souls so that you can go get that job that's still just over broke when it comes to you enhancing your gifts, your abilities, your talents for the marketplaces, for the lands to stay plentiful. Dynasty Zero, supreme beings on the rise. We can talk about when you're talking and your throat chakras flowing, keeping it with love, staying in the vibrations, frequencies, and energies of the channeled messages at hand, allowing no energy around to distract because it may come in and boom, that's when you get regulations in your throat chakra. Spirit wanted me to talk about that. That's how strong we all are. And in standing in your power and knowing your worth, the power in our words, the love in our words. And I love all beautiful souls. So with that being said, when beautiful souls are playing host, the hate that beautiful souls may carry, the anger that beautiful souls may carry, the zeal that beautiful souls may carry, this is not them. This is vibrations, frequencies, and energy from thought patterns. And as those thought patterns enhance with anger or hate, this is how strong the vibration, frequency, and energy gets to play with the vessel. This is not for the weak. Some of us are not here playing games. And to know that you were a chosen one even as a child because of the things you've done and the things you've seen. Still stand your ground. Still be you. Still be love. Still reciprocate that divine love energy out. Yeah. Yeah. Power in it. I understood that when removing energies when it comes to however you call it, name it, give it power, whatever twist you put to it, still love. I understood that when I watched some of the lowest vibrations, frequencies, and energies removed from a beautiful soul. It was the love I gave it. It's to understand that some of these energies from beginnings of time, when angels knew the master plan, though specific angels wanted to do their thing and went their separate ways, they had children too. You ready to talk about it? So when we're talking about these things like real healers and DMT entities, because natural healers, you feel it. It's vibrant, it's radiant with purity, so much divine space, you know? Ashe. Ashe. Where there's life, there's life. That's the second time. First time went that way. So he went back the other way. He knows that way. It's empty field this way. They're doing some building, so that's another reason why. Came over this way. The forest is. Oh yeah, y'all already know it's lit. Let our beautiful baby come back out. Oh yeah, I got y'all. Don't worry. Sit tight. I love it. Like I said, where there's life, there's life. You give space to see things, to see the seen, to see the unseen, to see the known, and to see the unknown. Mm-hmm. 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 Real sea fish totem vibrations. Or sea turtle totem vibrations. Oh yeah. The divine magicianal traveling, you know. But yeah, just we're gonna stay on the topic at hand. Y'all know divine Akashic record holder. I drift off on so many divine topics because oh, to channel divineness is love on so many levels alone. Beautiful tetrahedrons. So started off with Christmas, giving thanks. All of these holidays still add up to the divineness of a royal priesthood. In the knowing, as you see our beautiful ancestor that I just showed you on the camera, of love, so much joy to touch it and feel its vibrations, frequencies, and energies. And to you being high vibrational being of love, to touch it and allow it to feel your frequency and allow the ancestors to flow through this divine creation and give you that reciprocated energy by the universe times 10 is another divineness when we're talking about royal priesthood and in the knowing why we don't eat meat. Why we don't eat meat, yo. And in the midst of it, the bow and arrow or the sphere to strike it down, chase it down, that adrenaline, that fear, that rage. It's in the veins. Has hit the heart chakras. Has hit the throat from its last cry in pain and fear. You sit down at your table and eat this flesh freshly cooked with your side platters. You're happy. Hours after the meal, the same fear and pain that went through the veins and heart chakras of that creation, you begin to fill in your vessel. As above, so below. As within, so without. Talking about a royal priesthood here. And why we don't eat our ancestors. This is a deep one. This is not for the weak. And we're talking about in the knowing of these man-made holidays. Our celestial ancestors did not create man-made holidays. Now when we're talking about the puppets, like government or different humanoids and human that literally are puppets to bad celestial ancestors, Now we're talking about the game at hand. Still not your movie. When you know you, protecting your energy, shining your light, in the knowing, everything flows easily and effortlessly. Mm, mm, mm. So yeah, this one right here, our holidays are together, divine unity as a one, as a whole, the all. It's not about man-made holidays, doing shopping, this, all the hassle and mayhem beautiful souls will go through for a holiday that has nothing to do with culture. Most of these holidays is what distorted the culture. I said we don't eat meat. We don't eat meat. And we can talk into deeper components when we're talking about sacrificing. When the universe sacrifices for you, you don't have to slaughter nothing. Do you know how many times I've literally went into nature? Floods on the bank where the fish flow. Come back, it's dried out. You see fish there. In the knowing. Spirit ancestors say, these are sacrifices. Give grace, give thanks. You didn't have to do no slaughtering. We're letting you know we got this. You don't have to slaughter anything. You don't have to go to anyone for anything. You have everything you need. So when we're talking about sacrificing, it's deep. Out with the old, in with the new. Letting go. Sacrificing. Letting go of what no longer belongs. Especially when you know who you are. We'll dive deep into Memorial Holiday. Like I said, history is not our story. And when we know in the knowing, our culture in war, war, raw, in reverse. So yeah, it was very raw when it came to our culture. Our men, children, teenagers of our culture did not just voluntarily. Some did, but these were further down the line. Now we talking about back in the day, World War I, World War II. Some of those gods and goddesses did not volunteer. They were taken from their homes to go to war. And we know about our ancestors that were slaves, that fought in Revolutionary War. So when we're talking about Memorial Holiday and celebrations, talk about how righteous to do it. Burning herbs. Ancestral herbs. Burning herbs for protection, for your state of mind. For the knowing where Memorial Holiday really came from. How Memorial Holiday has nothing to do with your culture and heritage. Mm-hmm. Yes. Reaching to the stars. Beautiful souls. That's a channel message. Reaching to the stars. You ain't picked up. Reaching to the stars. In the knowing, it said, as above, so below. So to ground and see. Ground and see. There's no more question marks. As soon as you have a question mark, you ask self. As soon as you go out of self, that's when, now, if spirit in the universe says, okay, yes, reach out. Reach out. Reach out and get this information. Though, you'll feel it. Just meditate. You feel it in the knowing. Because at the end of the day, when you go outside of self, now you done drifted off. That's just like Horus I. Drift off, grow another one. You don't want to drift off and drift off into a different paradigm that you literally have to remove. A rabbit hole that you have to cover back up. Make sure you don't step in it, trip over it, fall in it, none of that. It's not your rabbit hole. It's not your movie. It's not your vision. It's still love though. Yeah. So talking about how this is not for the weak. Man-made holidays. Not for the culture. Not for the people. It's a matrix paradigm, beautiful souls. You don't sugarcoat anything. Like I said, this is a royal priesthood. When we're talking about church, royal priesthood started in caves, baby. Started by the temples, the crystalline temples. Buffalo teepees with crystals on them. Oh, I'm going to talk about the teepees with crystals on them, dude. Teepees with crystals on them, yo. Shamans. Crystal crowns with our feathers on them. Yeah, they still got stuff in the Vatican. When we're talking about channel messages, there's no more question marks. Yeah. And as you see, a lot of us beautiful souls are making back creations that they got in the Vatican. Don't worry, let it sit right there. It has no power. Right there, deactivated. That's why when you got it, you was wondering why it wasn't doing what it was doing when it was in the hands that it was in. Sitting there, collecting dust. It's fine. It's fine. It'll come back too. Or, like I just said from the beginning, we're creating it again. In the knowing. Loving it, beautiful tetrahedrons. My biggest step, ooh, yes, Spirit wanted me to say it. Y'all, the procrastination when it comes to knowing your self-worth, knowing your power, knowing who you are. Many names, million, billion, trillions of genes and cells within self. Many names, yo. It was the procrastination for me. And it was still working my throat chakra, speaking my truth. Though, I had activated my divine feminine. So I'm like, okay, work this magic. Oh, still keeping divine masculine there too. Still gotta flex. Still gotta be able to navigate and maneuver around with your muscle and your spiritual muscle. You feel me? So when we talking about it like that, whew, yes, together, together, hmm? Nothing separate. That's how they got divided and conquered. When we talking, that's why they don't speak of Ophiuchus. Why would I put the 13th zodiac on there and it says death and rebirths? Hmm? Talk about it in the church. We'll look at the Bible. It's a lot of sex and astrology anyway, if you mean you wanna. Though that real Bible, the one that you can use to decode, you'll see Hebrew letters down. Every other scripture, you'll see a Hebrew letter to put them together to get the divine message of a royal priesthood. Israelites, 13 tribes of Israel. Hmm? Royal priesthood. Yeah, not for the weak. Not for the weak. So we're here speaking our truths. The royal priesthood and gathering together, releasing the paradigms of holidays so we stay aligned with unity and the land being plentiful. So yeah, y'all already know. Mm-mm-mm. Always love, light, phenomenal healing. Ashe.